I figured we kind of tried a little different of a filming light I've been trying to work on in general. So today's topic will be done this way today. And I was really watching some recent videos, recent podcasts. Somebody was talking about some things, and it really kind of made me think about one of the fears I have, which is time. And I think we all do. We all fear time. We fear what time can do. We fear what time can cause. We fear the idea that time is something that just goes away and, one day we won't be here anymore. And I think that's important to think about and important to look at when it comes to how we make decisions and how we view what's valuable, how we view ourselves, what we feel is valuable about us, our lives, and the choices we make. Time itself is a resource. If you think about every single thing that you can do in your life, if you want to be successful, you have to put time in. You cash time in to gain experience to then become successful. In a friendship, when you first started out, you really don't know. You think you know about that person, but you kind of like, putting time in as a resource to that friendship causes you to either be good friends, not friends, best friends, forever friends, whatever, or even enemies. That's very important if you think about it. You know, we view time as a real concept of, well, it just keeps running. It's like on a taxi, the fare just keeps running, and we do pay for that. The fare of time is our life that will end one day. I mean, when we are done being around and we die, that's you paying that. That's the fare, right? But itself is a resource. Every single thing you ever want to do in your life, you have to put the time to it. When you get down or you don't know what's going on in your life, you kind of start to sit back, take your time, and apply your time elsewhere. Every way you look at it, it does become a resource. In a relationship, when a relationship is not going good, sometimes you try to speed it up to end it. Sometimes you slow it down to try to do better. But time itself is a resource in that relationship. The more that you put in with time to that relationship is more that you'll get out of it. Remember, the longer you really put good time in and you're using time as a resource, is the better that relationship gets. Now, you can also waste your time. As a resource, we waste it all the time. Fuel in your car, what you heat your house with. If you got a bad roof, you're wasting it, right? You can also waste time on something negative. If it doesn't make you feel better at the end of the day, then you're wasting your time on it. If it doesn't educate you in some way, some fashion, and that can be anything, any aspect of education, whether it even be life experience about knowing yourself and increasing your self worth, you still were educated and learned something. It's not wasting. But if you sit here and you do things that are not ever going to gain you anything at all, nothing, not even joy, it really doesn't gain you much of anything, but maybe, you know, you start beating off. You spend 3 hours of beating off. It's 3 hours you could have been doing something else, right? You wasted your time. 3 hours waiting for some side chick to come over. You just wasted 3 hours, man, for a side chick or a side dude, whatever you want. You just wasted that amount of time. Why? Why do that to yourself? Time is a resource that in my life I've used many a times over. When I had to go back and change my career and I had absolutely no money, man, drove a $500 car, walked to school both ways. I mean, I was 20, 3 years old, had it all right before it. Trucks, quads, other cars. Man, I had it all at that age. 21, 22, out of college, making money. Had to sell it all, man. Had to sell every bit of it. Drove a $500 car. And I remember having a pretty down ass girl at the time, man. Was appreciative of just me being around. At the time, I didn't really think about it. I probably didn't really uh, appreciate it like I should of at the time. I do appreciate that now. There's no question. But I remember having nothing. The only thing I had was time. If I put the time into my career to finish, let's say, nursing school, to work on the weekends, even while studying in the oil field and putting major time in, if I put the time in, I would get back out of it a reward. It was a resource for me. I had to put that time in. If I wouldn't have put the time in, I would still be in the same dead end ass shit I was doing, working in the other type of oil field, driving truck, hating my life, owned my own business, hated that, right? Time, man. You look at relationships that last, that you've been in, you wasted time in them. You didn't utilize time as a resource. You just kind of existed in that time, right? If you think back on it, it's kind of how it feels. If you invest time and you use time as a resource, you gain something from it. You gain an increase in that relationship. You don't feel down about it in the evening. You can't always do somebody wrong all the time and think that you not only wasted your time, but their time. And at some point, their time becomes more valuable and they leave. That's life. Don't waste time. Time is a resource. Time is all you have while you're here. When you leave here, that's it, man. Whatever time you invested, whatever time you had, it is not infinite, buddy. Time is finite, and that's all we really have. When you're poor, no money, no people around you, no girls, no house, no cars, no anything, man. If you're homeless on the street, all you have is time. That's all you can do, man, is understand that time is a resource. Use it wisely, don't waste it. Outside of that, just got to keep doing what you can and stay up every day and try to be 1% better and stack the right behaviors every day.